Hi, I'm Meera. I'm the founder and chief wedding planner at Carriages, Weddings and Events, and I work predominantly with Indian and interfaith couples to plan their special day. So today I wanted to bring you a super quick video on 6 key wedding day logistics that I often find couples tend to miss, but hopefully you won't be one of them. So let's get started.
Number 1, the arrangement of chairs. Now this sounds like something simple, but it's important to cross-check who will be arranging your chairs. If you're having a morning ceremony, this will most likely need to be a theatre-style setup, changed in time for your evening banquet. Not all venues will set up your chairs, especially if you're having them delivered from elsewhere, and not all decor companies will have enough staff on hand to do this for you either. So make sure you cross-check who actually is responsible for the arrangement of your chairs. Number 2, the holding area. Throughout the day, there'll be certain periods where you don't want your guests to enter the main room. For example, breakfast and drinks receptions usually tend to take place in a separate room. If a lot of your guests also intend on staying on site during the turnaround time between your morning ceremony and your evening reception, then you'll need to find somewhere for them to relax, with ideally a place set up to serve some teas and coffees. You don't want your guests getting in the way of suppliers and vice versa. So when you do have that initial site visit, this is also something that you'll probably want to bear in mind. Number 3, the cleaning. After your initial ceremony, be in no doubt that the room will be a mess. Now there's often a discrepancy about who is going to hoover and possibly mop or sweep the floor. Someone will need to take charge, and usually it will fall onto the catering company to do so. If you have a professional company with a lot of staff, then they will agree to do so, but make sure that it's something that you've spoken about prior to the event day. Sometimes it could be that the venue's in charge of cleaning, or sometimes it may even be your decor company, but don't take it for granted and make sure it is something that you have clarified beforehand. Someone is going to have to pick up the rubbish and get rid of the dirt before things like your dance floor and top table is laid down. Just make sure that you know exactly who that particular person is. Number 4, the turnaround time. If you're having a morning religious ceremony followed by an evening reception, then you need to ensure that you have left enough time for the turnaround in between. I typically advise a 3-hour gap. However, this may vary according to your exact setup and floor plans. If you're having lots of AV and production, then you may possibly even need more time. So make sure you check with each individual supplier as to how much time they're going to need to tear down and how much time they're going to need to set up in the evening. This is really crucial when you're going to reuse the same room for the morning and the evening. So make sure you cross-check this. Number 5, parking. This may not seem like a big deal, but it's important that you check if there is sufficient parking at the venue and how far the parking is from the main function area. You have to be prepared for adverse weather conditions, so if people are going to have to walk a long distance, then they need to be warned. You also need to check if there's going to be a car parking attendant on site to guide your guests and make sure the main entrance is kept clear for the groom arrival and departure. Too many cluttered cars will ruin your pictures, so ensure this is thought about from the start. Number 6, storage. There needs to be a storage space for both the family and for suppliers near the main event room. Some of your suppliers, such as photographers and videographers, will also have excessive gear with them on the day. So in order to stop them from cluttering the main guest areas, you need to find a space for them to store their items. And if you've got specific ceremony and valuable items, it's better to have these stored elsewhere and brought to the front when needed, rather than having them on display throughout the day. Your event needs to be seamless, so the less clutter on display for your guests to see, the better. So one key advice would be to cross-check with your venue coordinator as to which other spaces are available on site at the venue, so you can ensure everything looks clean and clear.
So there you had it. They were my 6 key wedding day tips. And if you found that useful, please feel free to drop a comment below, and you can also connect with me on my socials via Facebook, Pinterest and Instagram. You can find me at Carriages Events, or of course head over to the website at www.carriagesevents.co.uk. Until next time.